Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV. My name is John, your host as always, and I hope you're all doing well. This is episode 2 of the weekly live chat with John. Thank you very much for joining. As always, this video is sponsored by the channel sponsor 3retro.com, as you can see here. Please click the link in the description below that will take you directly through to the West Ham section of their website where you can buy the usual retro gear, guys. You know how the spiel works by now. Any purchase you guys make through the link in the description below will go directly. The commission the channel would normally be getting will be going directly to help the NHS. So thank you very much for any purchases you may be making. Let's have a look to see who's in the chat. Jimmy Griddle, I'm too early to come back. Yeah, he clocked in about 10 minutes ago, so hopefully he's going to come back pretty soon. Rick's back. Hello, mate. Good to see you. Hope you're doing all right. Sorry to miss you last week, but, you know, these things happen. Where are you? Mordechai Ariel Moshberg. Shalom to you as well. Welcome, mate. Always nice to see a new face. Hopefully it's a friendly face. Ian, good evening, mate. Hope you're all right. Andy, good to see you back, mate. Good evening to you as well. Dell's back. Hello, mate. Chad, hello. Good to see you. Dell is saying that there's a storm from hell here, where he is at the minute. Yeah, mate, I'm sweating like an absolute unbelievable word, shall we say. The politest way I can put it is I'm sweating like a priest in a brothel raid. Honestly, it's been such a hot week. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's the ironic thing is it's cooler than it was yesterday, but only by a degree or so. But it's see what Richie's in. Hello, mate. He says he sees dead people. Not for the first time, fella, eh? But yeah, so let's crack on with things as ever because there's quite a few things to talk about. But first and foremost, guys, I thought I'd go back to the old school way of how we used to do the daily live streams because obviously we're only talking once a week now. By all means, let me know what you've been watching or listening to over the last week or so, to keep yourself sane. I found a really, really good sitcom. It's called People from Earth. It's a weird one, but it's very funny. It's very well done. I've been watching that. I've been watching Richard Osman's House of Games, which is really good fun. And also I've been watching a lot of John Richardson's programs as well, like for example, Ultimate Warrior. Warrior, I should say, Ultimate Warrior. I've been watching that. I've been watching the series he's done with his missus as well. Meet the Richardsons. Has kept me very, very entertained. Very entertained. So guys, as I said, let me know what your sanity chips have been for the last week. So just try and catch up and see what everyone else is saying. Mordechai says, I was a Tottenham fan, but since being in the UK, West Ham has grown on me. Nice to know, mate. Nice to know. It's good. We're going to talk about a lot of West Ham stuff here at the minute. But let's have a look to see what else is going. Dell says it's dark here now, raining like a monsoon, mate. We need it. We seriously need it. Andy says we had a mad storm about an hour ago. Richie says evening, Andy, Rick, JP, and the rest of us poor West Ham fans. But yeah, I can't remember, and apologies to who asked the question, but one of the guys. Good evening, Erie clocks in. Good evening, Steve. Hope you're doing all right, mate. Somebody asked in last week's live stream. I think it might have been Steve. I can't 100% remember. He might take the credit for it if he did. One of the viewers asked me the question of what our wages look like now in comparison to 6 months ago. So basically January, which I've looked into, and guys, you'll be moderately surprised, I should imagine, because obviously since the January, obviously the end of the season, we've let Zabaleta go. He was on 67.5 grand a week. Sanchez was on 40 grand a week, and Ngaku was on 5 grand a week, which equals to £112,500 a week, or culminate that to 5.85 million a year. That's the saving so far. 112,500 a week we're saving so far since the end of obviously it would have been June, wouldn't it? Since the beginning of July. So over the last, say for argument's sake, 6 weeks, you know, we've saved quite a fair bit. We've saved quite a fair bit. Now, interesting as well, but just to say that Havak. Good evening, JP and all. It's 11 degrees and overcast hit, mate. It's 3 times that 2 degrees Celsius here. It really is, mate. It really is. But we could be also, we look like we could be very soon in the next day or so saving an extra 50 grand a week that Albion Ajeti is on, because as it stands at the moment, it seems to be that he's having his medical with Celtic today. I understood it was supposed to be yesterday, but he's flown in today, as you've probably all seen. So cheers, guys, by the way. And yeah, so it looks like he's going to Celtic for what could be around about £4.5 million. Now so as nobody's answered the first question, I'm hoping. Let me know your thoughts on Albion, because to be honest with you, I feel it's the right thing to do, but it's not the right thing to do at the same point. I think it's the right thing to do in terms of the fact that we need to get people out of the club that David Moyes doesn't like, or doesn't fancy. He didn't get any chances on. He hardly got any chances on. Didn't get any chances under Pellegrini. He hardly got any chances under Pellegrini. He definitely didn't get any. I think got 1 or 2 chances under Moyes. He was quite heavily disrespectful about Albion Ajeti, to be honest with you. He really was. But we paid around £7-8 million for him. So we're taking almost 150%. Well, it's pretty much 150% knock on it from that point of view. We're only 150%. That's not the right calculation, is it? As I say, we're almost, it's like 45% loss on how much we paid for him. So it's a bit of a shame. I was always the one that was saying that we need to try and give him a bit of a chance, give him a bit of a go, see what he could and couldn't do. For what I understand, but as I say, from what I understand, it's a deal around about £4 to £4.5 million. X has confirmed that earlier today. In actual fact, within the last hour, he confirmed it was between £4 and £4.5 million. Which surprises me, to be honest with you. I genuinely thought it was going to be a loan. A lot of the stories that have been coming out saying they don't know if it's a loan or if it's going to be a permanent move, but it looks like it's going to be permanent. Now it does surprise me that it isn't a loan, because Celtic had loaned out their striker Bayo, Bayo, I think you pronounce that, Bayo, to Toulouse for the season. So it would make sense that they would bring a loan player in, but as I said, as it stands at the moment, it looks like it is going to be a permanent deal for between £4 and £4.5 million. Let's see what everyone's talking about. Gary, hello mate, good to see you. I'm doing well, sweating like crazy, but other than that, I'm good. Let me know your thoughts on the subject. Richie says, give that 50 grand a week to Declan. Steve Hill says, didn't we pay something like 8 million for him? As I said, yeah, it's about between 7 and 8, depending where you're reading. And he says, Ajeti was never given a fair crack of the whip. Agreed, he wasn't. And Richie echoes that thought. So Ajeti was never given a chance. And he says, I hope it works out for him in Glasgow. Me too. I do. I honestly hope I hope this is the best move for him. It would. I say this is the reason why I thought it should have been a loan, because he could have gone up there, had a bit of a chance, did what Snodgrass did. Do what Snodgrass did. Just go down to Villa, have a rekindle himself, and then come back all the stronger. And it looks like that's going to be it's not going to be the case with Albion. It looks like he's going to be going on loan. So Ken, it says, is it a loan with a view or self at Yeti? He has a fantastic record in Europe for Basel. Yeah, he just wasn't used right here, mate. But as I said, I've obviously answered part of that already, quite a few times actually. But as I said, that's what X is confirming, and I believe him over anybody else at what they're talking about, quite frankly, because nobody else really knows properly apart from Claret and Hugh, even though they sensationalise their articles quite a fair bit. Richie says, Yeti top goal scorer this season up there. He probably will. So that's what I'm saying. It's a perfect opportunity for him to go and have a bit of a crack up there and see what's gonna see again. Rick said the same thing as what we were saying. Jetty hasn't been given a chance. Nick says, evening, hello mate, good to see you. Dell is always relevant and topical as keeping the full handle on the conversation as always. He says Dell says he's on the body, but I'm worried to get relegation battle again next season. We'll talk about that in a few weeks, mate. Harrod says I bet he scores a good few goals. He probably will. Nick says this is part of the other part I was going to come to. Nick says I think Silva will surprise everyone. I really rate that kid. He's got the most talent in the under 23s at the moment. Well, obviously the under 23s were promoted back to the top, the top level of the Premier League. It's now the Premier League One side. So yeah, this for me personally, I think Silva should step up, 100% step up, prove his worth, and see what happens with how he gets on with it. Silva and Allaire up front with Antonio sitting behind them. Very, very good. Very, very good. Mordechai says, will we be making any money off the Ajeti deal? No, mate. As I said, we bought him for around about £7 to £8 million, and it looks like we're selling him for about 4 to 4.5. So it is a excuse me, it's a £2.5 million loss minimum by the looks of it. £2 to £3 million loss, unfortunately. John Crabb, good evening. Said I reckon we'll regret this. Could have used him for next season. Yeah, it does have those hallmarks of letting Hernandez go out on loan before he was ready, before we had anything coming in. So now the thing is obviously, as we know, it's always one out, one in, especially for West Ham, and especially under these circumstances. So it's interesting. John, you don't need to correct it, mate. I know who you were talking about. Don't worry. Dell says, and Lena was West Ham's unofficial scout. She should get a big shout out. She does, man. She is. She's a very good girl, and we had a bit of a laugh earlier today and stuff. So, God, see, guys, look. I'd like to say this is me from the shower I had before setting up everything up, but it's not. I'm sweating like mad, honestly. Richie says is on the earning a bloody lovely point. Good for that. Nice to see you keeping in contact with everything that's what's going on. Mordechai said, well, that's not good then. Pretty bad investment. Yeah, it is. But at the same point, mate, I'm hoping it's going to be a good move in the long term. But you never know. But yes, I mean, we've always made a loss on players we bought. It's especially right at the start of the season, unfortunately. Richard says, nah, we probably still owe about 5 million for Yeti on the so the money will go to Basel. Probably, actually, probably not that far off. Let's just hope we have inserted clauses into Yeti's deal, good deal bonuses. Apparently there are clauses. X was saying in his article, in his Twitter post that there are clauses in it. So hopefully, you never know, could be a sell-on fee mixed in there at some point. But I do honestly wish him all the best. I really, really do. He's a fantastic. He's held his heads high. He's held his head high. But because at the end of the club cheated him like shit. So, yeah. But I think it's. But I honestly think it's time for Sunday to step up. I really do. I really, really do. John Crabb says we are 4 or 5 million short of the valuation for Eze. Could this potentially be for him? Possibly. We'll have to wait and see. It's highly unlikely that we'll sell a striker and bring in a midfielder, but stranger things have happened. Logically, we shouldn't. We should be making like for like. But yeah, Kent says I think a partner with with a partner he would have been okay. So but we'll never know, mate. We'll never know. Unfortunately, the horse is bolted. Horse is bolted. Unfortunately, Dale says, "What about the Lair fee financial debacle?" We spoke about that when it first break, mate. Nothing's changed. Absolutely nothing's changed. Again, it's meant to be settled this week, so we'll find out what's going on there. Okay, so the for next season, the fixtures come out on come out on the 21st of August. So 2 weeks Friday. And we will be live at 9 o'clock, exactly as we were last year, to discuss them, to get everybody to get your thoughts on it. And we'll talk about it individually. We'll go through each. It'll be interesting to see what you guys, because obviously last year, AJ from Kiwi Hammers and Baz came on, and we went through it in quite some depth. So it'd be interesting to get some stuff in and to get your opinions on things as well, because obviously the channel's grown quite a fair bit in the last 12 months. Not as much as I'd like, of course, but beggars can't be choosers. But it's so we'll be talking about that 9 o'clock Friday the 21st of August. We'll be talking about the fixtures live as they come out. So keep an eye out for that, because it'll be an entertaining conversation. It'd be interesting to, as I say, I want to get your thoughts on that, guys. I mean, we'll go through each individual fixture. We'll go. I'll say what I think is going to happen, what you think is going to happen. Points wise and everything. So be good to have that conversation with us, with yourselves. Nick says, I don't want Eze. We have full nails, fullbacks, for fuck's sake. Agreed. Get them. Totally. Dell says, it's a disgusting Premier League club. Ian says, we really need another striker. Antonio is injury prone at Lair, only fires on two cylinders. Well, he only fires when he's got support around him, mate. As I said many times, mate, he was brought in from a front three to play up on his own for the majority of the season. Bad idea. Now, obviously, today as well is there's two anniversaries today. One sad and one not so sad. The sad one, first of all, was 6 years ago today. We lost Robin Williams. That puts things into perspective how quickly the last 6 years have gone. But 2 years today was the day when everybody thought Declan Rice's Premier League career was over, when he was substituted at half time at Liverpool away when we were 2-0 down. And he didn't have the best of starts of that game, bless him. But it's Liverpool. It's Liverpool, and it's simple as that. That's the thing. Bam. Everybody thought Declan Rice was on his way out and was never going to come back to West Ham again after that performance. It just shows you how fickle as a support base we are. Because I said when that happened, I said give him time. He had a poor game, yes, but he needs time to grow, and he's had it. So, but what do I know? I only watch West Ham the same way as you, and don't overreact as much as everybody else does. Chad asks, has the Declan Rice and Jorginho transfer dropped now? It was never on. It was never ever on. We're going to talk about this a bit later, but I'll bring it up now, Chad. It was never ever on. £50 million bid didn't exist. It came out from Italy. So somebody in Italy is trying to make a few quid. How on earth is someone in Italy going to break that? It's Sky Sports in Italy making a false story, and bam, we go in and it spreads like wildfire and everyone's shitting themselves. This is why I always say, do not listen to Sky Sports. They contradict themselves on a regular basis. The points. Excuse me. The places to go to when you want to get secure information. Sky Sports ain't one of them. That's why I don't like them. Why I've never liked them. Kent says Hugo and a jetty money for Eze. Possibly. You never know, mate. Doubt it, but you never know. And he says, I would prefer defenders in rather than midfielders at the moment. We've got agreed, mate. 100%. We've been saying it all season. 2 right backs are needed. 2 left backs are needed. Another centre back would be very, very handy. An attacking midfielder we need, and 2 strikers. I've said that all along. And you're absolutely right. And Dale, as always, says we win 3-1. John Crabb says, we need a replacement left back as soon as possible. And he says the same thing I've just said, left back and right back, in my opinion. Yeah, completely agreed. Kent says, Andy, did we go in for Robinson? Apparently we did, but Sheffield United are the best odds for him looking at the minute. Looks like he's going to go to Sheffield United. I mean, let's face it, guys, as much as we hate to say it, he's odds on to go to Sheffield United, and quite rightly so to a degree, because they offer more than we do. They offer more opportunity. They will offer better football. I hate to say it, but that's what's going on. Richie says, I can't believe it's been 6 years since we lost Robin Williams, greatest actor of my generation. He was a very, 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 very talented man. 100%. I miss him every day. I listen to his stand-up stuff a lot. I really do. John Crabbe says, we made over 100 million the other month for our league position. Why isn't the club using any of that for transfers? For a club as big as ours, it's genuinely disgusting how we've got no funds. Well, John, we talked about this last week, a couple of weeks ago, mate. The money's going somewhere. I'm trying to find out where, but anyway. Andy says, Ogbonna been spreading shit because he lost out on Hammer of the Year. Kent says, Rice is worth 120 million. I wouldn't sell him for any money. Agreed. I've been saying that all year. Richie says, breaking news, Declan Rice off to Accrington standing for a crate of milk. If you know, you know. Who are they? Who are they? And Andy says he doesn't drink milk, only Lemo. Okay, so one of the players that we were linked with in January, apparently we've gone back in for, Matty Cash. Now, as I've repeatedly said, his natural position is right wing. He's a right midfielder. He's been playing at right back for the last couple of seasons and been doing a very, very good job. But his natural position is right wing. For me, I honestly think I can see why the links are there. We might, could he be the right back we need along with Ben Johnson? Well, only time will tell if that happens. But £15 million for a player like Matty Cash under these circumstances, not a huge amount, but we ain't got the money for it. We ain't got the money for it, as from what we're all understanding. But it's always been one in, one out at West Ham. Now, apparently the West Ham have took out a loan with the usual loan company. They paid it all. They paid the loan off earlier in the year, and they've taken out a new loan for, was it 35 million? I think it was. So that to me screams that David Sullivan is taking a loan out to pay the money that he put in himself a few months ago. That's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. The man needs to go as quickly as possible, as far as I'm concerned. He really, really does. But Matty Cash, not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea in any shape or form. Keith Winslow, hello, mate. So the Chelsea fans are hilarious, saying Declan's off to Chelsea just because he was in a photo with his teammates and Drogba. So does that mean Messi, when Messi held a shirt with Man U, he's coming to West Ham? Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute, actually, mate. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Chad says, now Ajetti's gone, I'll put Antonio up front with Allaire. Yeah, we've been doing that. We did that towards the end of the last season anyway, mate, but I know what you mean. I'd rather have a proper striker up there than our attacking winger. Kent says, class act Cash all day. I take him. He can cover 4 positions. He can. Yep, absolutely right. He can do, if I remember correctly, he's attacking. He can do midfield and attacking midfield as well. So yeah, it'd be brilliant to have him. Said, and he says, Cash in at right back and switch Ben Johnson to left back, which I think he prefers. Fair enough, mate. It's a good idea. I know his first. To be honest, I think he's looked better at right back. Well, he's looked better at both positions, so it's a little bit difficult. But I know what you mean. I can see you thinking behind that. So, yeah, we had as Keith just talked about. There's the photograph of Declan Rice with Mason and Drogba. The reason being was because he was being photographed. He was being photographed just as it was, and it's just because they're mates out, and it's just all the rumour mill is flying all over the shop, as it always does. But there is something that did make me laugh in exactly the same vein as well, which I'll bring up for you now once my mouse decides to. There you go. Decide to play along. I don't know if you guys saw this as well, but personally, as far as I'm concerned, this is a very, very good way for Manuel Lanzini to get himself sold. There you go. So you got Lanzini there with a couple of about 2 or 3 Spurs players. So is he on his way to Spurs using the same logic? Doubt it. Very, very doubt it. They're just good. They're, that's it's not the most straightest of pitches either for that matter, is it, guys? But it's a Nike sponsored event by the looks of things. But let me know your thoughts on Lanzini, because obviously him and Anderson have been the hot topic the last few weeks, in and around a lot of things. Let's see, and he says not 100% about that though. Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. But we've only seen him play 2 games at right back and 2 games at left back, so I know what you mean. But for those that have newly joined us, for example, Keith, if you're still here, I don't think you mentioned it last time we talked about it. John, if you're still here, and Mordechai, if you're still here. What are your guys? What, and everybody else for that matter? What are your thoughts on Lanzini? Would you still sell him? I still will. I still would sell him. Absolutely, completely. Let's have a look. Chad says, I think if Lanzini goes, I think Man United would buy him. Can't see him at Man U. It's not that sort of player. No, not the way they've been playing at the minute. Richie says, Boyzone have let themselves go. Richie, hello, mate. Sorry, Jimmy, hello, mate. Good to see you, mate. Andy says, sadly, I would let Lanzini go, to be honest. Keith says, I think just give Manu one more season as this is his proper first season back. Yes. Yeah, I see your point. But yeah, I can't agree or disagree with you, to be honest with you, mate. I can see it from both points. Jimmy says he would sell. Kent says I'd rather sell Anderson and Yarmolenko. Keith, any news on the third kit? There isn't, from what I've been looking at, mate. The logic is saying that we should be seeing it at some point this week or maybe next. But it's West Ham. We never know. Once when it does come out, we will obviously talk about it. Nick says I can see Lanzini going to Milan. Yes, I can. That's more plausible than Man United, mate. To be honest with you, that really is more plausible. Rick says same. I agree. I would sell Lanzini. Absolutely. Keith Wimslow says keep Yarmolenko for the Chelsea games. Not a bad idea. Brooklyn 1120 says Galatasaray. Always welcome with non-West Ham fans. Always welcome, as long as it's respectful. And he says, I can't see Lanzini staying in the Premier League. A move abroad more likely. Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. He's been very heavily linked with West Brom over the last week or so, and that would make a bit of sense. But yeah, now, the interesting thing about Eze, Jimmy, can we swap Lanzini for Harrison? Eze, apparently he wants his dream move to Arsenal. That's his favoured destination. I can understand the reasons why. So think on that what you will. He says, what Dean Garner, so he means want Dean Garner to do well, but want to see more of Nathan Holland. Yes, mate. All three. I'd love to see Grady and Nathan together. I'd love to see Grady and Bowen together. I'd like to see Nathan and Bowen together. Got some interesting combinations in the over the wings for the next season. It really, really is. If we do sign Eze, what's going to happen to Grady and Pablo? Exactly right, mate. Exactly right. Pablo Fornell's just coming into his own. So the midfield's unbalanced. It really, as I've said that many, many times, the midfield is massively unbalanced. Kent says reported wages will be problems to get rid of Man United. So get Manuel Lanzini, Yarmolenko, and Anderson. Totally, completely. He said, but if we do sign it, yeah, sorry, I've already read that. Dell says, I bet Dean Garner is sold. What odds do you give me? 3-1, mate. Yeah, 3-1. Yeah, it doesn't surprise him. Yeah, that's true. Leno, hello, chick. Good to see you. I was hoping you're going to be coming to that. We don't need forwards. We just need 3 across the back. Totally, completely agree with you, hun. Definitely agree. And hello. Keith Winslow, want more to see more of Arthur Masuaku. Why exactly? Dale says Connor Coventry to start on the bench a bit this season. That's an interesting one there, Dale. It's an interesting one. It really, really is. I'd love it. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to have him on there, but I can't see it. I really, really can't. He's come in terms of football. He's coming to his age, coming to the age now where we need to sell him of. It's just it's interesting. Stevie McCann says like third kit on the 28th of August. Well, if that's true, if that's going to come out on the Friday, which would make sense because that to a degree, Steve, that's a good logic. That means it's a month between the two, the away kit and the home and the third kit. So, but yeah, it will make sense. That's the deadline day to get people to renew their season tickets. So I totally see the logic there, mate. Keith says he loves Pablo. Peach the 5 foot. I haven't seen you for a while. Actually, I'm sure I've seen you before. Holland, a baller. I totally agree. Chad says, is Holland still at Oxford? No, he came back. Dell says 5-4 odds, not 3-1. Okay, so you're a little less optimistic on that one. Keith says, keep seeing these attacking rumors. We need to sign defenders first, then think about defenders, then think about defenders. Don't you mean defenders think about attackers? Peach says, laugh me off Masuaku. Dell says about says he's a decent player. Connor Coventry may be the replacement for Rice. It still could be touted as the replacement for Noble. Still could be. Kent says Arthur gives me heart failure. Keith says he's been played out of position as left back. He's more of a winger. Agreed. Yep, we've said that many times. Dale says, well said, Lena. Yeah, I can see that. So Chad's, I think we need a defender like Tyrone Mings and boss the players around. We do completely agree with that. Chad says Josh Collins is cracking on a bit though. Would you say he's championship material? Yeah, no more plays next season. We're on the championship. That's a bit harsh, Del. Yeah, but Keith, yeah, may very possibly. Keith says no to Tyrone Mings. Keith, he was using him as an example. He means a bossy centre back. That's exactly what he said. Clareton Blue Army TV. Hello, mate. Good to see you. Well, one of you two, whichever which one it is. I'm guessing it's Baz. I hope you're doing all right, mate. Nick says Fornals is class in his opinion. Should bring Coventry through next season, if not loan him to a club like Norwich or Brentford. You see, if we loan Coventry too many times, he's gone. That's the problem. See, there's how many seasons have we been at London Stadium now, John? It's been 4. It's been 4 seasons now, mate. We're literally entering into the 5th. Keith Winslow, but agree with bossy defenders. Keith says he subbed and liked. Thank you very much, Keith. That means we're now on we are properly on 1,620 subscribers. So only 380 to go before we hit 2,000. It'd be very nice to do that in the next couple of weeks, but I can't see it happening. But it'd be mental to have that increase, but it'd be very, very nice to have it nonetheless. Keith says he's 42 years, by the way. Really? You can't spell by? Dale says, what about Iheanacho from Leicester? Not going to happen. We won't. He's too good for West Ham as it stands at the minute. Damari Gray, I'll take. Iheanacho, I think he's kind of broad, if I remember correctly. Peter says, agreed. Connor Coventry needs to run out. He does totally. Richard said, should we tell Chelsea if they want Declan, they have to take Roberto to put them off? Yeah, definitely, totally. Dale says you can stick me 3-1. You can do. Keith, yeah, Keith, loving that comment. Messi signing, you heard it here first and last, mate. First and last. Yeah. Now, apparently, Maitland-Niles is being tracked by us and shitloads of other teams. Let's be fair. But Maitland-Niles, would you take him? Would you take him on loan, possibly from Arsenal? I would love to see him there. Personally, he made his, if I remember correctly, he made his debut against us in that awful FA Cup final, so the FA Cup round against Arsenal, when neither team took it seriously enough. That was under Moyes as well, as if I remember correctly, wasn't it? But I like him. I think he's a good player. Keith says JP Dream 11 including the bench. I won't answer that now, Keith, but go on to my Hammers 11. My video's on there. I didn't do the bench, but I did do my all-time Dream 11 on there, so go check that out. Jimmy Griddle says, would you be worried if Millwall got promoted at the end of next season? I would love to see a West Ham versus Millwall Premier League game. Jimmy, I don't give a shit about Millwall, to be fair. I really, really don't care. That is really boring, that as far as I'm concerned. The crap that happened between the two clubs was over 100 years ago. I would have thought we would have been mature enough to let that go. From either sides, but it hasn't. Unfortunately, there was one bird I was trying to crack on with a couple of years ago, turned me down straight because I was a West Ham supporter. She supported Millwall. Life's bigger than that. Life's bigger than Millwall. It's boring. I'm sorry, but Jimmy, love you to bits, geez, but Millwall is the most boring thing a West Ham fan can say. It is ridiculous. I know there are some people out there that legitimately can't stand them, and fair enough. I get it. 100%. I get them. A lot of their supporters are pikey cunts. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't care about it. I just don't care. The end of the day, if they do ever come into the Premier League and we're in the Premier League at that point, then bring it on. As far as I'm concerned, but I don't care about them. I really, really don't care about them. I think about Spurs more than I think about Millwall, and you guys know how I feel about Spurs. Dale says about Maitland-Niles, boring rumours. He's shite. That's your opinion, mate. Fair enough. Lan says, okay, get Rice for 50 million if they can take Roberto for 40. Dale says more Sullivan shite. There's a player in there, man. I'm telling you. Nick says there's no chance at Maitland-Niles. Agreed, man. But yes, you're absolutely right. The League Cup quarter-final, the 1-0 loss, mate. Totally. Keith says, so glad Mario Huselos and Manuel Pellegrini are out. They were just spending money for fun, as does David Sullivan, mate, to be fair. Dale says he mentioned Millwall. Don't care about Millwall as much. He hates Spurs more. Agreed. You tell him, John. It's boring. It's ridiculous. It's like you've got a set thing of talking about stuff as a West Ham support to imply that you are a West Ham support. I'm not saying that Jimmy isn't, or anyone else for that matter, but it's boom, dum. West Ham, Mr. Bowling Ground, Slaven Bilic, Millwall. Do you know what I mean? It's the checklist of things, and it balls the hell out of me. Leonard says Spurs hatred for me all day long. Yeah, we know your reasons for that. Jimmy says, yeah, mate, for real, football rivalry is stupid. I'm past it and I want to see a good game between the two. I'm not fussed about punch-ups. Mate, I ain't seen a good game between the two. Apart from that League Cup game when that all kicked off, that was actually quite a good game. I enjoyed watching that from sitting at home. I wasn't able to go, unfortunately. I wasn't able to get a ticket in time. I would like to see Aaron Lennon, West Ham. 5-6 years ago, mate. Yeah, totally. But as Andy's saying, no. Keith says he wouldn't mind Maitland-Niles. Richard says, question for you. With the low attendance at games or no fans at all, do you think we might finally get a home game on Boxing Day? No, mate, because we won't, because Westfield will still be open. They'll still use it. They'll still use that excuse. They'll still use it. Mark my words. I'm telling you now, Richie, it's just not going to happen, son. It's just not going to happen. They will still use that. Still use that bloody excuse. They will, because there will still be the if, of course, we're allowed out for shopping at Christmas. You know, there is that possibility. There is that possibility. We might not be able to do it. We might not be able to go. But yeah, they still use it as an excuse. Nick says, I hate Chelsea more than the Spuds. Here we go. Checklist number 3. I watched Green Street the other day. Good film, good film. Keith Winslow, thoughts on Mia Khalifa supporting West Ham? Couldn't care. She's fuckable. That's all I care about, quite frankly. Now, yes, I wanted to talk to you about this. I don't know if you saw this, but Jeremy Ngakie's farewell statement on Instagram. Now, obviously, you know, he's been very, very heavily linked with Watford. If it hasn't already come out already, that it probably will be coming out in the very, very near future that he's going to be signing for Watford. But he did say on his Instagram that I said, I want to say an enormous thank you for all the love and support I received during my time at West Ham. I want to personally thank the manager for the opportunity he gave me to play Premier League football for the club, which was special. Making my first team debut against Liverpool will stay with me forever. I want to say a huge thank you to the fans for amazing support they gave me during the time at the club. I also want to thank everybody at the club who helped me along the way, particularly my teammates who supported me. I have learned so much from you all, and I will never forget my journey. Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. It's not a problem. I haven't got an issue with him saying that sort of stuff. As much rhetoric as it is, I do really think I do genuinely think we're better off. I really do genuinely think we're better off him. He's a player I didn't want to see go, but given the circumstances, I can understand why the club got rid of him, or sorry, didn't get a new contract with him. Going down to the Championship for a season is perfect for him. It really, really is. You know, it really is some good news for him from a point of view. Sad to see him go. Understandable at the same point, but as I say, guys, I'm not really too fussed about him going. Chad says, "Is Aaron Ramsey leaving Juventus?" It certainly looks like it, mate. Keith says, Ngakin can just stop talking about West Ham. That's the only time he has, Keith. Sorry, mate, but yeah, that's the only time he's mentioned it. Then it says he didn't play to the end of the season, so fuck him. Agreed. Nick says, shame about Ngaki. Good luck in the future. He'll be a great player. He's got the potential. I just hope that he doesn't go down the same sort of route as Morrison did. You know, what's his name for that matter? The kid that we all keep referring to all the time. Anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about. Reece Oxford. Thank you, Lena. Thank you very much, Hunt. Yeah, Reece Oxford. Same sort of category of person. All three think they're better than the talent they've got. And don't get me wrong, all three had very, very good talent. 2 have wasted their talent. Are we going to see 3 wasting their talent? We don't know. But we'll find out. Find out very, very soon. And Alfie, hello, mate. Good to see you. Jeremy Who. Bilic talking to Shane Duffy, apparently. And as a result, we're not going to be trying to enter a bidding war for him. Shane Duffy's a good defender. I like him. Could have been a little bit better. Could have been a player we should have bought in a few years back. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of him. I mean, as I say, he's a good player. I don't think he's the right one for West Ham. I think he would genuinely suit West Brom better. But we'll see. Let me know what your thoughts are on that, guys. Because that's it from my point of view. We've talked about everything that we really wanted to talk about. Keith says he misses Diafra Sacco. So when are we going to sign Martin Braithwaite? No, don't hold your breath, son. Isn't he in Westlife? Shane Duffy. Was he Westlife or was it? Was he? Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah. Yeah. You're probably right actually, there, mate. He's been he's creeping about. apparently, apparently, a Jetty has passed his medical, so it could be confirmed. It could be well. He's completed his medical, I should say. So it could be confirmed tonight or maybe tomorrow that he will be signing for Celtic. So yeah. Here we go. Apparently, it is a loan move with an option to buy for $5 million has been agreed, but the Hoops are trying to make it an immediate permanent transfer. The structure, and potential permanent deal are being discussed. So yes, it looks like the club are trying to get well, both. It looks like Celtic are trying to sign on a permanent, and so it'd be interesting to see what happens with that. Be really, really interesting to see what happens from that. Keith says, JP, what would you do for West Ham, and who would you care about the pay? Don't understand that question at all there, Keith. I mean, what do you mean? What would I do? What would you do for West Ham, and would you care about the pay? Oh, sorry. Yeah. What would I do for West Ham? I haven't thought about it, if I'm honest. As long as I'm getting more than I'm currently on, I don't give a monkey's what I did over there. It'd be nice to be part of their media team, to be honest. Which is obviously taken up now by old Specky and Carlton Cole. It'd be nice to be a pundit for him, doing something, but you never know. But yeah, it's a good question, though, mate. Sorry, it's just something about it threw me on that. But yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to try and do something a bit more technical, if I'm honest. But obviously, need to do my badges and all that to get that sort of done. But an analyst maybe, or maybe even if they were able to pay me properly for being a scout, I'd love to do that. Fly here and there, looking at different players all over the world. More choices apparently so, JP, but I generally hope for the better in these situations, especially with COVID-19 going on and the recession we're in now. Big times to be alive at the top of the day. Yeah. This is why we're not going to see a lot of clubs making massive signings, because we're literally where are we? 2 weeks into it, and nobody's really signed that much, apart from what was already agreed by Chelsea. Richard says we need the $5 million to pay a Les fee. Jimmy says I would prefer to see he was chairman, JP. Not with my wages, mate. No way. I wouldn't be able to afford it. Gary says I'm late. What have I missed? Hello, mate. You've missed pretty much everything, mate. So go watch the replay of this. That's probably the best thing to do. Some interesting stuff in there. If I was playing for West Ham, I wouldn't give a shot about my pay. Didn't say what it would do. You weren't that specific about being in the side. If it was talking about playing football at 40 years old, I'd be in midfield. Definitely. Peach that 5 foot says Carlton Cole is legend. He's brilliant on that. He really, really is good on those podcasts. Modern says Arsenal laid off 50 employees because of no money, but signed a new deal worth £39 million with Aubameyang. Yeah, we talked about this last week when the story broke. Well, that doesn't actually say they've actually done it yet. They were proposing to do so, and I haven't actually seen they followed through with it, because apparently a lot of the players are really angry about that. But yeah, it's football. The little people don't matter. The people that get in there don't matter. It's sickening, to say the least. Evening, by the way, not the same having you every day, mate. It does sound rude. But mate, as I said, I want to do this once a week, because I couldn't do it every day. It was as much fun as it was doing 66 days out of 68. It was hard work. Because if Declan leaves, the song that will be played is Goodbye My Lover. Okay. Modeshi says, I got a bad feeling for the front of the transfer before the insiders let us in on it. How do you mean, mate? Can you clarify on that? In what way have you got a bad feeling about the front? I'm guessing you mean the strikers. Keith said JP would play my heart out. I'm sure you would. We all would if we got a chance to play for West Ham. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that's. I was going to talk about something else because the HMRC are apparently investigating up to around about 240, 250 separate footballers about their playing rights and all that sort of stuff. But I'm not going to do it. It's I think it'd be a bit vulgar to talk about that. Gary says, what I don't get is we pay installments for our players, so we haven't spent 100 million. Where's all the money gone, mate? We're saying this all the time. Don't forget the money from player sales and TV income and all that sort of stuff doesn't just goes on the players. It also goes on the agents. It goes on the players' wages. It also goes on employees' wages as well. I'm not justifying it in any shape or form. You guys know me well enough. You guys know me well enough to. I've gone over about their accounts a few times over the last couple of years. I'm not happy about it, but nobody seems to be interested in it, unfortunately. Monica says, no, I mean, the beginning of the window, we have insiders always leak info and disadvantages. West Ham, not good. But so do other clubs. But the insiders are irrelevant. And the in-the-knows are irrelevant because it happened before Twitter. It's so I know what you mean, but there's only one genuine insider that you should trust, and that's X, because everyone else just copies him. Keith Winslow, why don't they let the fans play? They would work hard instead of the dead would play. Felipe. Alfie says, I would love to play for West Ham. It would be amazing opportunity. Scouts for Barca might see me. Mordechai says, mate, are you starting to troll by any chance with this question? Are you ex-West Ham employee? If you listen to him, you would know that I'm not. I'm better looking than he is anyway. This isn't going to be turning into an ex-bashing situation. Peach, are you backing me up or are you backing Mordechai up on this? I'm just checking the news, guys, to see if anything's breaking, because the majority of it's obviously all about this Ajeti stuff. But yeah, it's just the same story being recycled at the minute about the sorting it out on a Steve Hill, did Sullivan say we would be challenging for Champions League by the 5th season at the London Stadium? Yes, he did. But he said that we said we'd be challenging by the 5th season by the time when they took us over in the first place. So you never know. Peach says me. Thank you very much, mate. Good to see. Keith, sorry about my spelling mistakes. I have disabilities, mate. It's fine. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. I'm getting used to it, to be honest. You're not the only one that doesn't know how to spell. Not being rude, mate. Not being rude, but it's fine if you're dyslexic or on the vodkas. Jimmy says, sorry if you said it already, but what are you drinking? I haven't, because nobody's asked. It's berries and cherries old malt cider. It's very nice. Very, very nice. Gary Fraser, would you be happy if we start the season with the same team? I'm not bothered if we need something to get in January. Gary, I will be very, very bothered if we did. We need a lot of stuff. It's not going to happen, unfortunately, but we need a few things sorted out. We really need a few things sorted out. Havad's trying to score points. The only person that matters is JP. Thank you, mate. Chaz says, now and then Gaku is gone, I would give Ben Johnson more gameplay. Well, he will be. He will be. Keith says he's not dyslexic. So I didn't say you were. Just I said if you are. That was the first thing that came to mind. But yeah, I mean, Jimmy said, would you recommend? I like cider. Yes, mate. Old malt cider is really, really good. I've been getting into that. I've been drinking a lot of Rekozig and the other ones, mate. I always have a lot of cider in the summer. Always do. Perfect. Keith Williams says Ben Johnson was the preferred option anyway. Agreed. Yeah, he was. The only reason why Ngaki got a run out in the first place was because Johnson was injured. So, but having said that, the club have made many mistakes over the last few years about players' abilities. Best decision the club have ever made in terms of players, putting Grady Dean Garner out on loan at West Brom. Perfect idea. Absolutely brilliant. They absolutely smashed that, got that completely right. Because he's proven to everybody of the little glimpses we saw of him when he played. Because he always said he said he just needs more confidence, and he's proven us right 100%. I'm very, 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 very grateful that they took that decision to do that. Keith says, I have pints of straight whiskey a lot. It's nice. You have pints of whiskey? Wow. Brave man. Pete says, do you think Cardoso will get a game next season? I'd like it. I don't think he will. Not in the Premier League anyway. Not in the Premier League. Jimmy says, yeah, cider goes perfect with the British summer, then ales for the winter for me. Yep. I can see that. Havaz says, JP, are you aware on the 5th or 6th of September England will play against Iceland? Yes, I am. If it's still going to go ahead, of course. Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting. Keith says, pints of wine. I've done a pint of wine before. That was fun. That was quite entertaining. That Pictures agreed. Dean Garner looks sharp. Yeah, try it, JP. Not a big whiskey fan, mate. I'm afraid. Peter says, "Yep, out on loan did him a lot of good." Okay, what do you dream about? Apple crumble? No, I've got better than I'm an adult, man. I've got more things to dream about than bloody food. I've got more in my life going on than bloody food. Keith says, I only watch England because of Deck. Fair enough. I watch England because it's England. But down to you, son. Down to you. Yeah, so nothing else is really breaking. So, guys, as I said, JP dreams of coke-fueled orgies. That's one way of putting it, sunshine. Yeah, we'll pretty much wrap that up there because the conversation seems to be dragging on to nothing. So, guys, thank you very, very much for your time. If you're new around here, welcome. It's been brilliant to see all these new people in the conversation. Peach, as I said, but I haven't seen you for a good long time. It's great to see you back. Alfie, good to see you back again. Have had Jimmy, Lennon when you were talking, Dell when you were watching Mordechai's, Keith. So I've already got Gary. I should say. So always Andy as well for that matter. Always good to Chad. Always good to see you guys. Thank you very much for your time. As I say, well, if anything more breaks that we haven't already discussed. I mean, obviously we've gone through pretty much everything about the Ajeti deal, so I'm not going to do anything tomorrow night. I can't eat when I'm supposed to be out. But if anything comes up, anything other than that comes, if nothing really comes about, then I'll see you next Wednesday at 7:00 as always. But in the meantime, guys, look after yourselves. By all means, do share this content with anybody you want on Twitter. I mean, those that are watching it on Periscope will be watching it via Twitter anyway. But if you're new to Periscope, then by all means, please do follow the channel on there because I'm trying to grow the channel. It's been nice to see that the same two people have been watching it all the time. Yep. But guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next week, unless anything really interesting breaks. Like, for example, we actually get to see the proper third kit for a change. All right, take care. All the best.